Previously on Blue Healers.
Listen, O'Keefe, I don't like you. I'm only here because I have to be, so why don't you just sit there and shut up?
You know, if I could have my time over, I'd do a lot of things differently.
Yeah, well, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? All right, remember, we need Zerby to suggest ahead. You can't put words in his mouth or say anything that can be construed as entrapment, okay?
I know what I've got to do, Evan.
These guys are heavy hitters. They don't take prisoners.
All we're doing is getting Zerby to incriminate himself on tape.
Drop the gun, O'Keefe! Drop it! Arrest me, shoot me, it doesn't matter. But let me do one last good thing. Let me save my son.
We do this my way.
I don't appreciate being kept in the dark. That's how stuff-ups happen.
The boy's safe. That's the end of it. 3 men dead in one shift is not a good look, Jones.
Even if they were all scum?
ESD mightn't take that into account. This is the situation. While you were ensuring that Danny O'Keefe's wire was working properly, he retrieved a handgun he'd previously hidden under the seat and used it to shoot George Zerby and his associate. You then took O'Keefe into lawful custody, but because his son's life was in imminent danger...
I exercised my discretion and made sure the boy was safe before bringing Mr. O'Keefe back to the station.
Highly commendable course of action. You were in control of the situation and you had him under constant observation at all times.
Yes, boss.
Inspector Falcon Price mightn't take the same view that I do, but I'm sure that it is explained in these terms. ESD will.
Well?
Sir, Senior Sergeant Croydon is out of control.
Tell me something I don't know.
Yesterday, he kept you out of the loop and sent Senior Constable Jones out on a very delicate assignment.
This would be Senior Constable barking mad, Jones.
Sir, a 14-year-old boy's life was at risk. Jones was sent out without backup. 2 men died as a result.
This station has more cowboys than the cast of Oklahoma.
Sir, when I first came here, you had certain views about my taking over.
I want to hear you say it.
Senior Sergeant Croydon has to go. For the good of the force.
And you're the man to take his place. Done.
Jonesy. Yesterday, that was pretty cool.
Well, even though 3 people died.
Well, he saved the boy.
Evan?
Sit down, Jones. Why was I kept in the dark yesterday?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. I want your version of the events that led to the death of Mr. Zerby and his associate.
I'm about to write a report.
Sit down. Indulge me. Now.
Frank Feeney was holding Mr. O'Keefe's 14-year-old boy in an attempt to persuade Mr. O'Keefe to kill Mr. Zerby.
Well, it sounds like he succeeded.
I was assigned to drive Mr. O'Keefe to meet Mr. Zerby. Mr. O'Keefe was wearing a wire to provide evidence of conspiracy to murder.
You just lost me.
We believed that once Mr. Zerby knew of the contract that was out on him, he would then make a counteroffer.
And did he?
He didn't have a chance, sir. Mr. O'Keefe shot both him and his associate.
With what?
A 9mm handgun he had concealed under the car seat. We had searched the car, but we were pressed for time, sir.
Pressed for time? Mr. Zerby and his associate now have all the time in the world. They have an eternity to contemplate this debacle.
Yes, sir.
You attract trouble, don't you? Go and write your report. Jurassic Age is over. The time of the dinosaurs is past and mammals now rule the earth. You want to ask yourself what team you're on.
On your way, Jones. Courtesy suggests you let me know when you're going to be in my station, Inspector.
Courtesy's wasted on you, Croydon.
Really? So what are you doing, sneaking around unannounced, talking to my personnel behind my back?
You seem to forget where you are in the chain of command, Senior Sergeant.
Chain of command is exactly what I'm talking about. How does that tally with you secretly interviewing one of my senior constables with the collusion of my sergeant?
You know what paranoia is? It's a mental condition, and you're suffering from it.
Well, it would make both of us.
I came here this morning to oversee the organisation of a booze bus.
Yeah, right.
In passing, I asked Sergeant Jacobs how Senior Constable Jones was dealing with the events of yesterday, events that I was kept in the dark about.
If anything had leaked, that boy could have been killed.
Sergeant Jacobs arranged for me to speak to Senior Constable Jones, which is my right as your commanding officer.
Then he would have told you that we had a very good result.
A what?
This time yesterday, we had 4 gangsters alive, well and operating. Today, 3 of them are dead, and the other one is going down for murder. So what's the problem?
You are the problem, Senior Sergeant Croydon.
You alleged you were here to organise a booze bus.
Allege is not a word you apply to anything that I say to you. Do I make myself plain?
Yes, sir.
Right, Susie and Alex? Booze bus.
And Jones.
Well, he does have a report to write, boss.
I want him out of the station, getting a taste of normal life. You can write your report while you're waiting for drunk drivers to show up.
Now, Thomas, police got a tobacco farmer knocked on the head. 6 bales of tobacco missing.
6 bales. What's that worth?
It's bootleg tobacco. 7 grand a bale.
42 big ones. And the wrong job.
I was checking the irrigation pipes and he come up behind me, wailed into me with a mattock handle. It's ours. He must have got it from the baling shed.
Did you see his face?
Wearing a balaclava.
Then what happened?
Oh, I was out like a light. Come to, he was driving off in a truck like his pants were on fire.
Did you get the make of the truck, Rego?
Looked like a fair-sized rig. I was that dazed. We only baled the stuff last night. Me and the missus were up all night doing it.
There'd be some identification on these bales?
You would have stenciled them, wouldn't you?
Hadn't got around to it yet. The missus. They walloped me and got away with 6 bales. This lady and gentleman are from the police.
You should get your husband to the hospital, Mrs. Cole. He could have concussion.
You spend your life at that hospital.
Now, why didn't I marry a sympathetic woman like that?
Just one continuous breath into this till I tell you to stop.
What do you do for a living, sir?
Well, you just had a squiz in the back. What's it look like?
You tell me.
Long-distance carrier. This job's furniture removal.
And who uses bales of tobacco as furniture?
The clients loaded the truck themselves.
Yeah, whatever you say, sir.
I didn't know the tobacco was in there.
Of course you didn't.
You don't believe me, do you?
Well, I think it's something you can discuss, that detectives. PJ, this is Mr. Maguire, the gentleman I was telling you about.
The gentleman with 4 bales of tobacco he can't account for.
I never loaded the truck myself.
But you did unload the other 2, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll see. Amy?
She went straight out again.
How long have you lived in the district, Brendan?
Came up here about 5 years ago to get a first house with a mortgage we could handle.
And you give your occupation as a long-distance carrier?
Because that's what it is.
Well, your truck contained 4 unmarked bales of tobacco. Bootleg value about 28 grand.
You want to tell us where the chop chop came from?
What's chop chop?
Oh, well, it's tobacco someone's forgotten to pay tax on. You see, the tax office tends to come down very hard.
I'd rather get in trouble with the mafia.
Well, by the look of you, you probably know all about them.
Just tell us, okay?
The people who hired me loaded the truck themselves.
What, you didn't think to look inside?
I was in a hurry.
Right, well, we're going to need the names of the people who hired you, the pickup address, and the address you were supposed to deliver to.
I'm not sure I can do that.
Well, I must inform you, as well as the theft of 6 bales of tobacco, a serious assault occurred. Anyway, do you want to wear that? Or do you want to start talking?
Look, it was a cash job. I didn't get their names. I picked up from them on the Widgery Road, and I was meant to drop off at a crossroads south of Wodonga.
Brendan has just won first prize for the greatest number of lies told in one sentence.
So, how are things with the mafia?
It's twice you've made that remark. You want to say it again? Good move.
He's got no priors.
Yeah, but it's pretty certain he's dealing in contraband tobacco, isn't it?
Your point being?
Well, at this stage, we should be alerting the tax office about our fine, shouldn't we?
I don't think so. Look, he may well have been intending to deal this tobacco. We should be looking at charging him with theft and intentionally cause serious injury.
Yeah, but surely the ATO's got an interest if there's an intention to avoid tax.
And they can take their place in the queue.
Oh, there you are.
Just gave the truck the once over. Did you get anywhere with the suspect?
Ah, so it was a cash deal, no names, no addresses.
And you believe him?
I've heard crazy, yeah?
So you're going to charge him?
No, not yet.
PJ, he knocked Roger Cole over the head, stole 6 bales, offloaded 2 and was on his way to offload the rest when the uniforms got curious.
So where's the 14 grand from the 2 he unloaded?
Stashed. If we search, we'll find it.
No, I don't think so. You want to talk to him?
I thought you already had.
I'd like you along.
You think that's necessary?
You think it's not necessary? You got a problem with this?
PJ, a representative from the tax office's tobacco team is on his way. Should be here this afternoon.
Listen, I thought the boss said not to involve the ATO.
Yes, but there are guidelines, PJ, and they apply to all of us.
Even to the boss?
Yeah, even to the boss.
I think we should talk to Roger Cole again. There might be some way of tying his bales to the ones Maguire had.
I'd like you to take one continuous breath into this until I tell you to stop.
Constable, I'm in a bit of a hurry.
That's senior constable, sir.
I'm Leo Pascal, ATO. I'm chasing up a contraband tobacco operation.
Oh, that's very interesting, sir. Just one continuous breath. Are you refusing to take a breath test, sir?
Senior Constable, you're impeding a federal investigation.
This gentleman has a problem with taking a breath test. So I think we need to make sure that this car's roadworthy.
It was checked out of a federal carpool this morning.
So I take a moment, sir.
Give it here.
Thank you. You're clear. Now pull the car off to the side of the road.
So, yesterday,
Brakes are a bit spongy.
well, must have been awful.
Why?
3 men gunned down in cold blood.
No. If I'd have been gunned down, now that would have been awful. Check the indicator.
If you want to talk about it,
Not really, no.
well, when you're ready, I'm your friend.
Well, thanks. But yesterday's over.
You do realise you've defected a Commonwealth car?
It's in your own best interest, sir. Your brakes need attention. So please drive carefully to the nearest servo.
I'll be talking to Sergeant Jacobs about you.
As is your right as a member of the public, sir.
You seem to forget we're on the same side in this.
Drive safely. You enjoyed that, didn't you? So, Caesar's suggestion about talking. Listening in, were we? It's not a bad idea. She wants to talk? Talk to her. I don't have to. Mate, she likes you. She's your friend. So? So give her a break. Let her help you deal with what happened yesterday. So you mean I have to talk it through for her sake? I don't need to talk about yesterday.
Forensic are examining the matic handle he hit you with. Fingerprints, DNA, fibres, whatever.
Both me and the wife would have touched it at some stage.
It's not a problem. They'll get yours for elimination.
We're trying to link your bales with some others we've recovered.
Some others?
Oh, yes, we found 4 on a truck.
There's no identification on them, but we'd still like you to have a look at it.
Sounds like mine, but there's no way to tell.
Would the type of tobacco tell us anything, or the way they were baled?
It's all pretty standard.
Thanks, Roger. We'll be in touch. You're very certain it's Brendan Maguire, aren't you?
What are you getting at?
We came into the station together. You must have seen him, and you walked out again. You missed the initial interview. Now you want to charge him. You haven't even talked to him.
You're saying I lack objectivity?
I'm asking if you two have a history.
You just crossed the line, PJ. My history is my history and no one else's. Full stop.
From births, deaths and marriages.
How dare you?
Your mother's maiden name was Maguire. She had a brother, and that brother had a son named Brendan Maguire. Same date of birth as our friend Eddie. So tell me he is not your cousin.
What gives you the right to dig into my family history like this?
Amy, there's a conflict of interest here.
If you were a member of the public, you couldn't have got this. You've abused your
Is he your cousin or not?
Yes!
Right. So take yourself off the investigation.
Let's go and talk to him now, shall we? Brendan, you're in serious trouble. You've assaulted a man, stolen 6 barrels of tobacco worth $40,000 in the black market.
Wait a second, rewind. This is me. It's your cousin. Brendan, we lived together when you were a kid.
Best move now is to make a full statement of exactly what happened.
I've already told him what happened. I told him 3 times.
And if you want to see a judge and jury laugh their socks off, you'll tell them the same story.
Amy, what are you doing?
Sit down.
Okay, look, I swear this is true. This bloke came to me with cash. He said, we'll load the truck, you look the other way.
So now you're admitting to being involved in a criminal conspiracy.
Oh, this isn't happening.
We've all felt that at some time. A full statement admitting the assault, the theft and the whereabouts of the other two.
I didn't do it, Amy.
Just admit it, Brendan! I was just trying to extract a
Don't
confession.
give me that. What did this bloke ever do to you?
Nothing.
He said you lived with his family when you were a kid.
Did he?
Yes, he did. Now, these are the relatives that took you in when your parents were killed in that car crash,
Yes,
right?
so what? It's ancient history. I was out of there at 16.
You've still got some sort of childhood grudge.
You are not my judge, PJ. No one is my judge.
Judge of what? Amy?
Problem here?
No, just...
Boss.
Well, as long as that's the case.
Miss Vincent? Vincent Smith. Oh, did they take the furniture? Sorry. That was a joke. Yeah, well, someone stealing 10 grand's worth of equipment isn't a joke.
No, it's not. So, do you want to tell us what's missing?
My gold top Gibson Les Paul.
That's a guitar.
Gibson, Ferrari, Les Paul Formula One, get it?
Oh, sorry, that's blasphemy on my part. I knew what you were talking about, by the way. All right, so a Les Paul. That's heartbreaking.
Tell me about it.
All right, so $10,000?
Oh, it was worth 6.
Oh, I thought you said 10.
Yeah, well, you need an amp, right? And we're talking a Hiwatt Custom 100-watt head with matching...
High what?
Custom 100-watt head with matching quad box. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about, do you?
I'd like to.
Cute.
What?
She likes pineapple on her pizza.
It's a balanced meal. My gear.
Your gear, yes. Have you got any idea who might have stolen?
It was stolen by the witch next door.
Does the bitch have a name?
I said witch.
Oh.
She's my landlord and she hates my music.
Someone stolen Jade's instrument of torture? Not a moment too soon.
You've got some sort of objection to her music?
Music, was it?
She seems to think you're responsible for the theft.
In a sense, yes.
Right, so you're admitting you took the guitar and the amp?
No.
You just said you were responsible.
Yes, I did say that, didn't I?
Look, this is a Gibson Golden Top Les Paul we're talking about, all right? A very valuable instrument.
Then I hope it's gone to a home where someone knows how to play it.
We'd like to search your premises, please.
No.
No? All right. Kel, can you go to the station, get a warrant? I'll wait here.
Let's get it over with.
And this is the living room, which, like all other rooms I've just shown you, is remarkably bereft of guitars. However valuable.
You have a very lovely home.
Thank you.
You said you had something to do with Jade's guitar being stolen.
In a sense, yes. Meet Dolly.
A voodoo doll?
Voodoo is a West African religion exported to the Americans as a result of the slave trade. What I'm practicing here is an old European custom.
Yeah, witchcraft.
Certainly not. I'm a very spiritual person.
There's nothing spiritual about witchcraft.
Define your terms. Now if you're finished here.
Now, hang on. You're saying that Jade got burgled because you did that to the doll?
I just wanted to immobilise her right arm. It appears I gave her bad luck instead.
She's a witch, Joss. Now you've upset her.
She's a lunatic. I don't believe in that stuff.
Funny. Thought I saw you just cross yourself.
What are you talking about? I wouldn't know how to. My family are socialists.
My nana would have known how to deal with her.
Stake through the heart.
Ah. Croatians have their traditions just like Italians do.
I told you, I don't believe in it.
Ooh.
Cut it out. Shut up. Oi. You reckon she's got humbuckers?
Yeah. 2 of them, right up front.
No, they're pickups for the guitar.
No, yeah, I know what they are. So is this some professional interest, or are you just boning up?
Well, if we're going to retrieve Jade's gear...
Jade's gear, is it?
Yes, we have to know what we're looking for.
And speak the language as well, because you obviously know that guitarists speak another language.
Yeah.
I had cousins, right, that played in this band, you know, just wedding receptions and stuff like that, and they all spoke in guitarist. So, if you're going to impress Miss Vincent Smith...
Hang on, like what? Give me an example.
A guitar is an axe.
Yeah, well, I knew that one.
And all the older guys seem obsessed with Jeff Beck. Apparently he's got tasty licks and really lays them down.
What?
He plays really well.
Licks?
Influences are the players you like. So, Kofi Annan, he's an African guitarist. He is smoking.
Kofi?
Annan. Plays with the Kenny G Experience.
And they're good.
Smoking.
One hot lead coming out.
You haven't arrested the witch yet, have you?
Well, we checked Mrs. West's premises, but found nothing.
That's because she's hocked it already.
We also checked all the second-hand and music stores, but...
Oh, like they'd tell you if they had them. Hey, it's got to have been her. She's flogged my gear. Now she's talking about chucking me out. Says she'll get the bond because I'm untidy.
Well, she can't break your lease for that.
That's right. So I told her I was coming down here to get her charged for that as well.
We don't really deal with leases. Look, do you know anyone who might have wanted this guitar and amp?
Anyone who's ever picked up a guitar would want it.
Anyone in particular?
Well, I have enemies. Women, mostly. Men hit on me a lot. Other women seem to resent that.
Oh, they're just jealous.
So, someone may have ripped it off for petty revenge.
You know, the other possibility is that someone might have stolen the gear to exchange for drugs. Do you know anyone who does drugs?
I'm a professional musician.
Right.
Look, can't you do anything?
Leave it with me. Right. I understand you now wish to evict Miss Vincent Smith.
She's a filthy tenant. She caterwauls into the small hours. Her so-called music makes my windows rattle. Shall I go on?
But all that was happening before. You decided to evict after she suggested you took the guitar and danced.
She didn't suggest. She made a direct accusation. It's called the final straw.
So you're confirming you had nothing to do with the theft, right?
How are you at dealing with bad luck, Constable?
Good morning, ma'am. Would you mind taking one continuous breath into this?
Yes, I would.
You realise the consequences on refusing a breath test?
Didn't take long for the bully boy to come out, did it? Is that why you choose to wear a uniform?
You're entitled to an opinion, ma'am.
I can't get through to him.
Well, sometimes you gotta let people deal with problems their own way, Suze.
He just locks it up inside himself.
Well, this may come as a bit of a shock to you, but Jonesy isn't a woman. You know how some blokes have a little bit of female in them? Not Jonesy. It's pure male. Breathe into the device. Or step out of the car. If it's a dinner, it'd be a T-bone steak, not a tofu salad.
Right. The police are an illegal paramilitary force, unrecognised by the Constitution.
So, just let him sweat it out, eh?
Well, he's never going to come crying on your shoulder. And he's a good man, but don't ever be the Kleenex kid. Right, that's it.
No, I'll blow into the bag.
Who would you be?
Pascal. Leo Pascal, Australian Taxation Office.
And what's your business here?
Sergeant Jacobs alerted us, recent contraband tobacco.
Did he now?
My identification, just for the record.
Would you like to tell me what you're doing wandering around my station unescorted?
Look, Sergeant, I realise that you state police are somewhat wary of us feds, but I have to say this is getting a little
You
bit...
said you were from the ATO. Are you now saying you're a federal police officer?
No, but we do enforce federal law.
Not quite the same thing. There are very heavy penalties for impersonating a police officer.
Senior Sergeant, what is your problem?
I see you've met.
Mr. Pascal here, or Agent Pascal, or whoever he seems to think he is at the moment, has some idea that you invited him into my station.
Yes, that's correct.
You don't say. What did I say about the tax office?
You said not to involve them until charges have been laid.
Exactly.
However, since Mr Maguire had been found in possession of unmarked bales of tobacco, there seemed to be a prima facie case against him for tax avoidance.
Did you or did you not understand my direct order?
However clearly an order is given, it cannot override my responsibilities under the law.
By the book?
Yeah, by the book. If we'd done by the book yesterday, we might have saved 3 lives.
Inspector Falcon Price told you to say that, did he?
No. Inspector Falcon Price is our senior officer. We owe him our loyalty.
No, chain of command. I owe him my loyalty, you owe me yours.
And if they conflict?
Thank you for making your position clear.
Oops! Nearly fell to its doom.
Cut it out, please. You call me immature.
Sorry. I'll stop.
But it's not funny.
What's going on over there?
It's behaving like a little kid, sir.
See there?
Sorry, Sarge. I'll stop.
Mount Thomas Police, Sergeant Jacobs.
How many generations does socialism go back, Jossie? Till we met someone who believed in witches.
I sure asked your Croatian granny.
Another Coldberg. You two? We'll be there in 10. Thank you, sir. Gentleman's missing a drum kit.
It's the guitar now, a drum kit.
Yeah, someone's obviously assembling a band. Apprehend them before they start on the horn section, will you?
We'll be in touch. Makes your Jade look like a tidiness freak.
They do have something in common.
Huh. Mount Thomas pizza diet.
It's legal to park here, isn't it?
William James?
Yeah.
You step out of the car, please.
Look, if this is about that parking ticket, I'm almost certain I paid it.
There are, in fact, 3 outstanding.
I'll get to them, I promise. You're after free pizzas, right?
Yeah, like the ones you steal from your boss.
What?
When we went looking for you, boss said you steal pizzas.
Only the ones which are undeliverable due to certain exigencies.
Oh, I mean, if you steal pizzas, you could steal guitars, drum kits.
You have prize for burglary, William. You give your occupation as musician.
I've been delivering pizzas to houses that have been burgled for musical instruments.
Look, I know this looks bad.
We've got a warrant to search your premises.
Yeah, but I got this mate. Well, he's not really a mate. He's a bloke I met down the pub.
Yeah.
He asked me to store some stuff in my garage for him. Right. I swear I don't know what's in there.
I don't believe you. No. Look at that. Pepperoni olives. It's my favourite, Kel.
Well, that was a washout. What happened to all the drunk drivers?
They're in counselling where they belong. That was not directed at you.
No?
Men are so sensitive.
You want to know about yesterday? Well, I'm not too keen on Falcon Price and ESD breathing down my neck, and everyone else tiptoeing around me like I'm some kind of nutcase. But having Danny O'Keefe and his mates dead doesn't bother me at all. They were career crooks. There's nothing we could have done to have stopped them from killing each other. And we saved his son. I think I might have remembered why I became a copper in the first place. Guys, check this out. Step out of the car, please, sir.
That would be unwise. Took two mates to get me in here in the first place.
You've done this before. Dug into the past of another detective.
If you're talking about Garth Henderson, I had reason to suspect him for a series of killings.
And what did you find, huh? Just a little boy's pain.
And in your case, the suspect is your cousin. Instead of cutting him slack, you're going at him like an attack dog.
So there's no problem. There was no need to pry.
You weren't such a mystery woman, I wouldn't have to.
Mystery woman? I wish. I don't know all about you, do I?
Ask whatever you like.
Look, I don't have to, and I don't want to. We have a suspect and a case to solve. That's all that matters.
Amy, don't disappear on...
Boss.
My office?
6 bales of tobacco was stolen. Brendan Maguire was picked up with 4.
So he's already sold 2 of them?
That's my point.
Well, if he did, there's no evidence of it.
So what do you propose doing?
Let him go.
Detective?
I believe he should be charged, boss.
The suspect is Amy's cousin.
Ah.
No, I'm worried this is clouding a judgment.
Roger Cole was beaten enough to warrant a trip to the hospital. The suspect is unable to tell us why he has 4 bales of tobacco in the back of his truck. I won't release him and have him reoffend.
We have no evidence.
Then you'd better find some.
Don't worry. I will.
The guitar, amp and drum kit were all in William Jones's garage.
Right, and he's owned up to it?
Told the usual lies for a while, but then he caved in.
Good work.
There is some other stuff in his garage that needs looking at too.
Right. Joss, you're unusually silent over there.
Joss isn't feeling too well, Sarge. He hassled a witch earlier today. She's put a hex on his stomach.
I applied reasonable pressure.
Right, a witch. This wouldn't be Gillian West, would it?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, she's on her way in to make an official complaint. Serious grovelling on your part might stop that one going up the line.
Don't worry, Joss. I'll call the exorcist.
Kelly, there is such a thing as taking a joke too far, you know.
Yes, Sarge.
Is that Ms. West?
Yes, it is.
I'll be unavailable till Joss has had a chance to apologise.
Mrs. West, look, I just wanted to say that if I did anything...
I
at all
hate
to...
Weasley pretend excuses containing the word if. You were offensive. Start again.
Right. Well, I clearly offended you.
No.
So...
Start again. I was offensive, and I want to say that I am very sorry. How hard is that?
It's a major grovelling. Apologised, and now she's gone.
How you feeling? Fit for duty?
Sort of. I want to charge her.
With what?
Assault with a deadly dolly?
No, I looked it up. It says it right here, Section 13 of the Vagrancy Act, pretending to exercise witchcraft. $500. $500.
But hang on. If she was pretending, it wouldn't have worked. If it worked, she wasn't pretending.
Yes, besides which, your William James, the musical pizza man, he's sick as well. Yes, St David's reports he's just been taken to hospital with food poisoning. Seems he's been stealing pizzas and his boss set him up with a dodgy one.
These people who slip you cash to turn your back while they load your truck.
Mate, I'm chasing a mortgage. I've got payments on my truck.
Yeah, look, I understand your problems and I'm trying to help. But you knew they were loading tobacco, didn't you? Hey. Only tobacco smells like tobacco.
Yeah, I knew they were loading something that smelled like tobacco.
Thing is, unless we can locate these people, we might think you're responsible for the assault and theft on Roger Cole. Doesn't your Detective Fox think you did it?
Oh, Princess Amy, that'd be right. It's something Dad used to call her. Okay, you were saying if I could remember the people who loaded the tobacco on my truck.
Do you have a digital camera? I want to put together a 12-pack with Brendan in it.
Right, you were showing this 12-pack to...
Roger Cole, of course. He was the one that was assaulted.
I didn't see the person, though.
Yeah, well, I've been talking to him and things are starting to come back.
Brendan's been released.
What?
Look, he gave us names and addresses. The ATO has been after these guys for ages. Brendan just drove the truck.
Nothing to do with Roger Cole's tobacco.
No, sorry.
He was telling the truth. So what about Roger?
I rang the hospital. Seems he runs into a lot of doors. Staff said if a woman ran into that many doors, they'd be reporting it.
Yeah, he doesn't look where he's going. He makes me so angry sometimes.
Your husband was the victim of a serious assault. So we expect to find DNA traces from both of you on the weapon.
But if there's no evidence of a third person...
Then what?
Then it raises the possibility that either he hit himself on the head or you did it.
Has he said that?
Men are often very reluctant to admit to being abused.
Are you charging me?
Not at the moment.
Oh, that's it then.
Roger, we know that she beats you. She did that to you, didn't she?
No.
Because the 6 bales went missing?
I told you.
Still on the farm, aren't they?
What are you talking about?
Talking about false report. Wasting police time.
A heist that never happened. Roger, we're really sorry, mate, but we'll get a warrant if we have to.
She gets drunk and just lashes out. Whatever's lying around this time, a matter candle. It was my last chance. My ticket out. I was going to sell them.
On the black market.
Of course, on the black market. She does the books.
And when you had the 40-odd thousand in the hand?
Off and away.
They'll be charged, but you probably won't do time given the circumstances.
I can hardly tell the court the circumstances, can I?
Roger, a lot of people already know.
People guessing's one thing, me admitting's another. I'd rather do the time.
Your report on yesterday's events.
Handwritten so far, sir. I was helping man a booze bus all day.
Just give me a verbal summary.
Well, in brief, sir, while I was ensuring that Daniel O'Keefe's wire was transmitting, he retrieved a handgun previously concealed under his car seat. He then used the weapon to kill both George Zerby and his associate. I then took him into custody. But since his boy's life was in danger, I exercised my discretion and made sure the boy was safe before bringing him back to the station. He was in custody, and I was in control of the situation at all times.
Spoken like a good ventriloquist dummy. You've left a little bit out, though, haven't you? The part where you distracted the homicide detectives long enough for Mr. Feeney to shoot Mr. O'Keefe.
But that's not what happened, sir.
One fabricated report, and the only witness is dead. Well done, gentlemen.
Welcome to the rest of your lives under my command.
Who is it? Oh, you're kidding. My gear. I thought the sergeant said I'd have to wait to pick it up.
Yeah, I talked him around.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
I, couldn't help noticing your humbuckers.
You're a guitarist.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got some pretty tasty chops.
Chops?
Yeah, I've laid some down. It's a pretty nice axe you've got. Bet you could do some licking, eh?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I've been influenced.
Who by?
Kofi Annan. He's smoking.
I thought we owed you an apology for your treatment here today.
Look, I'm just happy I was in charge, okay? Amy?
She's not in.
Probably just as well.
Earlier, you called her princess.
It's just something Dad used to call her. He meant it as a compliment. I didn't. He doted on her. Oh, yeah. Both her parents killed in that car accident. You had to feel sorry for her.
Special treatment.
She had her own room. It's fair enough. Two boys can share. We did so much for her. And she turns 16 and shoots through. Same year Mum dies. Amy doesn't front up for the funeral. She doesn't even send a card. Broke Dad's heart. You understand where she's coming from? 'Cause I don't.
You and Brendan have a nice chat?
He's not your enemy.
Is that what he said?
No. He talked about a little princess whose uncle doted on her.
Please. Don't go there, PJ. Not if you value our friendship.
I'm just saying Brendan was probably unaware of whatever was happening.
Nothing was happening.
It was your uncle, wasn't it? I'm gonna forget all this. Do decide you want to go after him. And when you do, I'll be with you all the way.
Previously on Blue Healers.
Listen, O'Keefe, I don't like you. I'm only here because I have to be, so why don't you just sit there and shut up?
You know, if I could have my time over, I'd do a lot of things differently.
Yeah, well, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? All right, remember, we need Zerby to suggest ahead. You can't put words in his mouth or say anything that can be construed as entrapment, okay?
I know what I've got to do, Evan.
These guys are heavy hitters. They don't take prisoners.
All we're doing is getting Zerby to incriminate himself on tape.
Drop the gun, O'Keefe! Drop it! Arrest me, shoot me, it doesn't matter. But let me do one last good thing. Let me save my son.
We do this my way.
I don't appreciate being kept in the dark. That's how stuff-ups happen.
The boy's safe. That's the end of it. Three men dead in one shift is not a good look, Jones.
Even if they were all scum?
ESD mightn't take that into account. This is the situation. While you were ensuring that Danny O'Keefe's wire was working properly, he retrieved a handgun he'd previously hidden under the seat and used it to shoot George Zerby and his associate. You then took O'Keefe into lawful custody, but because his son's life was in imminent danger...
I exercised my discretion and made sure the boy was safe before bringing Mr. O'Keefe back to the station.
Highly commendable course of action. You were in control of the situation and you had him under constant observation at all times.
Yes, boss.
Inspector Falcon Price mightn't take the same view that I do, but I'm sure that if it's explained in these terms, ESD will.
Well? Sir, Senior Sergeant Croydon is out of control.
Tell me something I don't know.
Yesterday, he kept you out of the loop and sent Senior Constable Jones out on a very delicate assignment.
This would be Senior Constable barking mad, Jones.
Sir, a 14-year-old boy's life was at risk. Jones was sent out without backup. 2 men died as a result.
This station has more cowboys than the cast of Oklahoma.
Sir, when I first came here, you had certain views about my taking over.
I want to hear you say it.
Senior Sergeant Croydon has to go. For the good of the force.
And you're the man to take his place. Done.
Jonesy. Yesterday, that was pretty cool.
Well, even though 3 people died.
Well, he saved the boy.
Evan?
Sit down, Jones. Why was I kept in the dark yesterday?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know? I want your version of the events that led to the death of Mr. Zerby and his associate.
I'm about to write a report.
Sit down. Indulge me. Now.
Frank Feeney was holding Mr. O'Keefe's 14-year-old boy in an attempt to persuade Mr. O'Keefe